Caribou Weather Dude YouTube. I'm Joey, right up here in Wells, British Columbia, 3,935 feet above sea level. Yeah, well, we had a powerful storm hit the coast this week at an atmospheric river, Category 3 it was, that inundated the north coast with a lot of rain. Its remnants has moved through down into the southern interior today, and that story is almost over in time for the next one to start shot putting on in, which will be a potent storm hitting the coast on Sunday, the 10th of November, and will be coming into the interior for Monday in time for the work week. It is 20 to 8 right now on Saturday night. I was watching the Canucks and the Oilers game, but there's no commentating. It's funny. So I thought, well, I might as well take some time and make a quick weather video for you all and let you all know. Give you all the bad news here. It's the bad news show. Let's go. There it is. This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen. Get on! Wow. I'll watch the video later. They dry mopping this. This episode brought to you by Crazy for Color Bed and Breakfast down there in Sorrento, BC, halfway between Calgary and Vancouver, 4 kilometers outside Sorrento. These guys are really good. They have all-day English breakfast. Look at that. Looks really, really good. So check them out. You can give them a message at crazyforcolor@telus.net. Just wanted to clear something up for you guys all here. Well, number one, someone commented, can you use a bigger pointer? So I decided to increase my cursor size to help you all read a little bit better and see what I'm pointing at. So that's cool. Now what I'm going to point out right now is right here. It says Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude. Welcome to the channel here. I want to point out to you that there's 5 words here. Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude. Only one of them, 5 things is weather. And, these are Joey Only and the Caribou and being a dude. So yeah, weather's what you get sometimes, but sometimes you also get Joey Only, Caribou Dude. All right, let's get the full scoop on what's going on in Canada right now. Maybe Caribou North, Prince George region, especially into Williston. Dense fog is occurring tonight, should improve. Later on, we have a brand new wind warning for Haida Gwaii, 90 to 100 kilometer an hour gusts, maybe 110. This intense frontal system moving in from the Pacific will impact Haida Gwaii early Sunday morning, bringing strong winds to the region. Over the exposed coastal sections especially, the winds will subside in the afternoon when the system moves inland. We also have special weather statements down for southern BC, for Metro Valley, Fraser Valley, west, including Abbotsford, Howe Sound, Sunshine Coast, Gibsons, and Earl Cove. Heavy rain and reduced visibilities, possible washouts near rivers, creeks, and culverts, clear storm drain. High winds may cause tree branches to break and lead to power outages. Rain will begin Sunday afternoon, intensifying in the evening before easing Monday afternoon. Rainfall of amounts of 30 to 40 millimeters are expected by Monday morning, but locally there could be higher amounts possible. Also going on in Canada right now, 15 to 20 centimeters occurring near the Manitoba border in Ontario. Sunday afternoon, easing by Sunday night or Monday morning. This could also come with 60 kilometer an hour winds. Just a little south of there, a little less snow, 10 centimeters maybe. Blizzard warning going on in Nunavut still. Hudson Bay area is seeing some 90 kilometer an hour winds at Rankin Inlet. Areas like that. Some fallen snow recently is making it will make visibility difficult as it's blowing around. We have blizzard warning there too in the very north tip. Blizzard warning is issued when winds are expected to produce blowing snow with widespread visibilities of 400 meters or less for at least 6 hours. And strong storm impacting right now in Newfoundland. Wind warnings are heading on up the coast where you have 80 kilometer hours, maybe 110 gusts. All right, let's get to British Columbia. What kind of misery is coming to us? Avalanche reports in the Crow's Nest Pass. 3 people involved, 1 fully buried. The person who had their arm out of the snow, allowing other 2 party members to locate and dig them out with their hands. Buried person had minor body injuries, but the entire party was mobile and able to start walking out of the area. They were located and picked up on their way out by a SAR team. The avalanche was not directly observed by the SAR team, and information and dimensions have only been observed by party members. So here it is, pretty wild looking, considering there's not that much snow there. But it was wind-driven, I'm sure, on a slab side, and probably just, as you can see, the wind-driven slab here as this area kind of built up, and that's enough to almost have killed somebody. Avalanche Canada saying for Sunday, North Coast has increasing cloudiness, few flurries changing to periods of snow in the afternoon, strong southeast winds strengthen to extreme in the afternoon. In the South Coast, few flurries to start, intensifying to heavy snow or rain in the late afternoon over southwest-facing slopes. Strong southerly winds increasing to extreme in the afternoon. Freezing levels raising from 1,500 to 2,000 meters in the afternoon. In the interior, cloudy with a few flurries only, freezing levels 1,500 meters to 1,800 meters. The intense low from Sunday will continue to trek eastward to Alberta on Monday, will continue to bring moderate to heavy precipitation and maybe extreme winds across the province. Unsettled conditions across BC on Tuesday. Another intense low pressure system is arriving by late Tuesday, expecting heavy precipitation and strong to extreme winds in south and central coast. River Forecast Center still has these areas highlighted in yellow that were the high stream flow advisory still from this weekend. All the areas basically along the coast and Vancouver Island. Here's what they're saying. Strong atmospheric river impacted the north coast of British Columbia this week. According to the Center for Western Weather and Water Extremes, it was classified as an atmospheric river Category 3 event. Areas with heavy rainfall totals ranged from 90 to 140 millimeters. Freezing levels increased significantly during the event and resulted in rain on snow conditions in mountainous regions. This increased melt. Automated snow weather stations within the general region measured snowfall or snow melt of 15 to 35 millimeters of snow water equivalent. Heavy rainfall has ended and no significant rainfall events are expected in the upcoming week for the north coast. There's a ship right now caught out in this storm out there with 115 kilometer an hour gusts being reported. 65 gusts along Haida Gwaii right now, so the storm's not hit anywhere inland yet. We see it's going to move inland, but already it's bashing this poor ship out there and any other ship that's out caught in it. What kind of snowfall totals are we looking at? Go over the next bunch of days. Whole bunch showing up in the coast mountains. Monday, we start to see that into the Rockies, south interior, and some of the high passes in the Kootenays, and we see north of Prince George, up into Williston, a little bit into the far North Peace, up into Fort Nelson area. That's our first storm showing up. Fair bit of precipitation lingering on and continuing in the next storm. Pummels in right after that. Well, let's see what that looks like. But this looks like some significant snow stacking up this week here in British Columbia. Some real significant looking snow. Our first grand dusting across Canada. When you look over the next week, you see northern Quebec, northern Ontario, through the prairies, into the territories, all seeing a little bit of snow this week. So first time we're seeing this kind of more of a widespread looking snow base. We can see winter starting to settle in. What kind of snow are the coast mountains looking at? Well, look at some of these reds here. Over a meter, 1.5 meters, 133 centimeters, so 1.3 meters, 1.2 through the coast mountains. So some big time totals, a little less so out into the Columbias, but some of the biggest totals could be, and they could move around where they are. This is just one model. What would GFS think? GFS still seems pretty solid on these snowfall totals right in through the coast mountains. And even 43 centimeters, if that's falling down through Revelstoke over the next bunch of days, that means there's going to be a lot of nasty traveling through the passes, trying to get in and out of BC, trying to get into the coast. Going to see a lot of nasty travel through there. Most of the Caribou, Kamloops, and Chilcotin, not seeing a whole lot of that. Maybe a dusting here and there. So not to worry too much. You might see some rain or some, cloudy days. You might even get some of this wind coming, but maybe not looking like a big-time snow event for you. Up through the Pine Pass, though, could see some good-time snowfall totals in there. Here in Wells, yeah, it's not out of the question that we see another good blast of snow like we just had. And snow is still going on in some of those places in the high country. Temperatures are pretty cool through a lot of BC right now. Well, how cool? It may be down below zero tonight for Prince George and Williams Lake. Vernon may be sitting a little bit above. And that snow is starting to peter out as we come into the early morning hours. So the very last bit of that is being replaced by temporary high settling in southern BC, and into Alberta there. Snowfall, quite possible Sunday in through northern Ontario, that we were just talking about, in through Manitoba a little bit as well. Our next storm showing up in the afternoon, bringing those high winds, high bands of precip. Up the Oregon coast, could see some steady 50s. Haida Gwaii, though, it gets its turn earlier, so that's why before dawn, you'll already start seeing some of these strong winds. In fact, we saw already in that report, they were getting a little bit of that. So get a blast of wind through the morning, and then the precip kind of arrives in behind it, as so often is the case, is basically how frontal systems work. Monday, moving into southern BC, moving into northern BC, moving into the coast mountains. Strong bands of it, possibly through Pine Pass. Monday morning looking quite gross for any of the major highways in and out of the province. Through 3, number 1, Probably going to be a mess to come into Jasper sometime in Monday evening. Rain and snow continuing still. The Duffy 99 is going to be pretty gross for a lot of Monday. It looks like by the time later it will shift south in that southeast corner. So the Crow's Nest Pass area will get a turn for at least a little bit of gross weather itself. And then Tuesday, we got just a short break before the next bunch of precip that's lingering around, kind of lingers its way around post-frontally. But we have this next storm out there, and it's going to start lashing into the province quite quickly. So lingering flurries in the mountains, maybe even snow heavy at times on Tuesday. Continuing the central province, not seeing a lot of this. The next storm starting to show up in time for Tuesday late afternoon, bringing wind, heavy rain to the south coast, some precipitation falling as snow in the high mountains, blasting heavy rain into these areas. 20 millimeters in 3 hours, 23 millimeters in 3 hours. So very, very heavy, but it won't linger around too long, hopefully. It will keep moving its way out and inland. So that's what you want to see is when you get really heavy concentrations of rain and precip, you want to see it keep moving, which it looks like it will. But we get, again, a very snowy week with cooler temperatures. We're sitting on the north side of the jet stream now, and we will be reaping some of that more northerly flow. Heavy snow still Wednesday evening possible in the coast mountains of southern BC. So keep your eyes on your local forecast. Keep your eyes on your conditions. Watch the changing clouds and changing skies. Be aware if you've got travel plans. Be keenly aware of what Drive BC is saying, because the ditches still don't have snowbanks to block you from going 10, 20, 30 feet down. And a lot of these areas in through Revelstoke over the Rogers Pass, there is no cell reception through there. If you're driving on the 6 highway there north, trying to go up towards Revelstoke, you're winding through some of those areas, there's no cell reception. You can have something bad happen, and you might not, it may take a while before someone can reach you in the Creston Salmo Pass, for example. Up into the north, you have a lot of that problem where Fort Nelson, everyone up there knows it's actually a lot more connected up there than it used to be, that's for sure. But even in the Pine Pass, you're coming into some dark areas where it can be very heavy snowfall and you could be very much screwed. So that's kind of just a look at what's going to happen this week. We'll come back at her probably tomorrow with some better and better specifics, because it really seems like we're going to be taking days and days of precip, and we're going to be on the north side of that jet stream. It's going to be increasingly chillier, more winter-like, especially at night for some of you. A lot of you in the south who live in southerly places like Penticton, you're living at lower elevations, and you're living at close to the border where it's warm, a lot of hot air moving north from there sometimes. And you might not see that much freezing weather, but you will still be hovering close to it, right? So for the most of the province, we're going to be looking more and more like winter this week. Okay, well, that's the show for this week. Hit like, share, subscribe. Not this week. That's the show for tonight. Hit like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend. Try to bring them around the channel here, and we'll keep talking about all things weather going on in British Columbia and beyond if it so suits us. Okay, everybody, have yourself a very safe Saturday evening and have a wonderful Sunday morning till we see you again. Bye now.